Welcome to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today, we're diving into a fascinating psychological principle that shapes our behavior in ways we rarely notice: commitment and consistency bias. The commitment and consistency bias is a powerful mental model that reveals how we have an innate drive to remain consistent with our past actions and beliefs. It's like an invisible force that pulls us towards maintaining our previous commitments, even when those commitments might no longer serve us well. To understand this concept, let's look at a historical example that brings the bias to life. In the 1950s, social psychologist Leon Festinger conducted groundbreaking research on cognitive dissonance. In one famous study, he observed a cult that believed the world would end on a specific date. When the prophecy failed, instead of abandoning their belief, most members became even more committed to their group and its teachings. This illustrates how deeply we resist changing our position once we've publicly committed to it. In the modern business world, the commitment and consistency bias plays out in fascinating ways. Take the example of software subscriptions or gym memberships. Once people make an initial commitment, they're likely to continue the subscription even if it's no longer useful. Companies exploit this bias by making initial sign-ups easy and creating psychological barriers to cancellation. It's like a mental sticky trap that keeps people locked into their original decision. So, how can we apply the commitment and consistency bias in our daily lives? First, practice self-awareness about your commitments. Regularly audit your ongoing commitments and ask yourself, am I continuing this because it truly serves me, or simply because I've always done it? It's like performing a periodic mental decluttering, removing outdated commitments that no longer align with your goals. Secondly, create deliberate friction when making important commitments. Take time to carefully consider decisions before making them, knowing that you'll likely feel compelled to stick with them. Write down your reasoning, discuss with trusted friends, or create a review process for significant commitments. Think of it like installing a thoughtful checkpoint in your decision-making process. Lastly, develop the skill of graceful disengagement. Learn to recognize when a previous commitment no longer serves you, and practice the art of changing course without feeling shame. This might mean developing phrases like, "I've learned more since making that decision, and now I see things differently." It's like giving yourself permission to grow and evolve. In conclusion, the commitment and consistency bias reveals a fundamental truth about human psychology. We have a deep-seated need to appear consistent. By understanding this mental model, we can make more intentional choices, avoid getting trapped by past decisions, and maintain the flexibility to grow and change. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. Until next time, may your commitments be intentional, your consistency be a choice, and your mind be open to new possibilities. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by thepodcasthost.com and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/freemusic.